I knew I'd have to be a bit patient, and then I remember Graham pulling me Thursday before we played City away, saying that I was going to be playing.
Cheers, Gaffer.
I was like, quality.
I've seen the panic in his eyes a few times as he steps in. He actually gets past that first centre forward, and he's wanting an option from me, but I'm blocked off, and I can see as he's approaching midfield, all the angles are blocked off, and the panic in his eyes.
Muzza's still offside at this point. It's not helping.
I snapped my ACL when I was a similar age to you, and it gives you a different perspective, doesn't it?
Obviously, it's never nice to see anyone do their ACL and whatever, but I feel like you have a bit more, not more respect, but you understand what people have gone through in the past, like when Jakob done it and stuff. And obviously, it's going to be a long process, but it's just another challenge, really.
Webby, record-breaking signing back in 2019, 7th season at the football club. Obviously, a bit clouded at the minute through injury, but time at the football club's been good, huh?
Yeah, it's been great. I think, obviously, from when I first signed, like the club's in obviously a much better position now. When I first signed, obviously you were here, Mars, like the first couple of years was just about staying in the division.
Were you first year of the Prem, second year of the Prem?
No, I was third.
Third year of the Prem?
Yeah,
Okay.
so Graham's first year.
You came on the easy years.
Yeah, obviously I missed the first two. But even that third season, we were always just floating above the drop. So we were always looking over our shoulder. Then we had some tough moments in that season. I think if you all remember, we didn't win for like 2 or 3 months, and then we had COVID and stuff. And then even the next year, like we were again like just floating above the drop. And then after that, we really kicked on, and we've come a long way.
Can you cast your mind back to when you left Bristol City and you started to realise, actually, I'm going to end up at Brighton. They want me. They're prepared to spend a record fee to get me to Brighton. What did that feel like, and what sort of club did you think you were going to be joining?
Yeah, I remember that period really well, to be fair, because it was a stressful time.
That was a good group you were leaving at Bristol, wasn't it?
Yeah,
like a really tight group.
Like a really tight group. Like we were all like similar ages, and we had a good squad. And I remember, like, you know, it's like when you know you might be getting a move, whatever. And obviously it's to the Premier League, so it's not just like getting a move. It's like going to the Premier League. And Bristol were playing like hardball. Like it was a tough. But it was probably over about 4 or 5 weeks. It was like most of pre-season. And in the end, I couldn't sleep. So I remember, and I can sleep anywhere. I don't know if you remember. I can sleep anywhere. I could sleep on the floor anywhere. I couldn't sleep because I was really stressed about it, and I was having to get like sleeping tablets off the dock there at Bristol because it was stressing me out
It just
massively.
shows you though, doesn't it? Like how much it does affect a player. Like
Yeah.
everyone. So the transfer window now is seen as a bit of an entertainment industry, isn't it? To a certain extent, but it does affect players.
Yeah.
You don't think what they're going through now, because your whole life is about to change.
Yeah, exactly. And I've obviously always wanted to play in the Premier League, and like I'm a bit more like risk adverse. So like you can't always, you know, I had a great season at Bristol, and it might not be the same. Like you could get an injury, you might not be the same at the same level the next year. So I was always like, I've got to go now if I'm going to be playing in the Premier League. And luckily Brighton obviously stuck at it because it wasn't an easy negotiation for them. It had gone on for a long time. So yeah, it was. I was absolutely buzzing when I finally got the call to say it has been done.
It's a massive kind of vote of confidence in a player when a club pays a record fee, isn't it? I mean, they really did want you, and they spent to get you. That must have helped in your mind in terms of making the transition.
Yeah, definitely, because like I say, it had gone on for a long time. Like it was probably over, like I say, 4 or 5 weeks of numerous bids, and obviously I get told from my agent like when another bid's going in, and I remember actually,
It's the most frustrating period, isn't it?
And I remember we played Crystal Palace for Bristol, our last pre-season game at Ashton Gate, and that morning a new bid had gone in, and I was like, it's got to get done. Like this is it now. Like, and then I told some of the boys, and they were like, "Mate, you can't play. Like you've got to like just pull out in the warm up. And I was too scared. I couldn't do it. So I remember thinking all about it. And I was like, I can't do it.
Didn't go full on Alexander Isak.
Nah, I couldn't do it. So I played the worst 55 minutes of my life. And we were like 4-0 down, I think.
So what, they thought you were throwing it in on the pitch?
No, I just, well, probably, but I was awful, and I got dragged after like 55 minutes, and and then about 4 days later, that's when it was done. So, but it was a stressful time.
Yeah, and what was it like when you walked in? I mean, at that sort of price, I suppose you expect to play straight away. But who did you think you were going to have to depose to get in the team? Because it was.
Well, I knew obviously it was Dunkey and Duffs, so I knew how good them two were.
Yeah.
And a real partnership.
And
as well.
Proper partnership. Like they've been so good. Obviously, got the club up, kept the club up. Like Duffs got Player of the Season. Dunkey was captain. So I knew it was going to be really tough. But yeah, I had to wait maybe like a month until I got in the team, and I feel like I did well when I first got in the team. But yeah, I knew it wasn't going to be like straight in because of how and also we had Dan as well, Big Dan, and he was playing
left,
he was playing left back, but we'd go into like a back three as well, and he was flying. I remember. Do you remember that?
And he gives you that right balance, doesn't he, on that left?
Yeah.
So really, like the odds are stacked against you.
Yeah. So I knew I'd have to be a bit patient, and then I remember Graham pulling me Thursday before we played City away, saying that I was going to be playing.
Cheers, Gaffer.
I was like, quality. And then and obviously they were so good at the time. Obviously they still are now, but like they were so good. And then it was weird because then on the Friday, I wasn't in the shape. I was the only one that wasn't in the shape. So I was like, what's going on here? Like, he told me I was playing. He must have changed his mind. So I was a bit fuming. And then in the meeting on Saturday morning, I was in the team. So it was a weird one. But
because you usually when you've been pulled or on a Friday, you'll do team shape in the team that's actually playing. But Graham would like he wouldn't always do that.
He would chuck a curveball.
Yeah,
100% in it. A lot of it was you were guessing a lot.
That's
of
really
it.
unsettling, isn't it?
100%.
Because you like to go to bed on a Friday night, preparing,
especially when he tells you you're playing, and
your first game, obviously, and the City,
away. I know. And then so then I did play, and then we conceded after like a minute, which was far from ideal.
What score was the game?
We lost 4-0. But we actually, no joke, this sounds terrible. We lost 4-0. We actually played really well. That like we didn't really create that, but like in terms of how we were trying to change the style of play and stuff, like we actually did. He
done that really well, Graham, didn't he?
Yeah, really well.
Over a period of time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because there was some tough periods when it could have been easy to like change how we were doing it, and we did change to an extent, but he did stick to his principles a lot.
And that's partly why you were brought in, wasn't it? Because that's the way the team was heading, wasn't it? And
yeah.
So what did he say?
A modern ball playing centre half.
Yeah. So what did he say to you about what he wanted from you? What was the plan?
Yeah, I think exactly that. Like he obviously wanted to change the style of play from how it was before. It was more like low block and just defending and counter. Yeah, exactly. But he wanted to change that. I think the whole club wanted to change that. So that was part of me coming in and trying to do that. And then obviously me and Dunkey played quite a lot of games together, and it did work. To be fair, it was good.
Because you were very comfortable when you were in that style of play. That was your game, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's how I see myself as a player. I like to bring the ball out from the back, and back then I used to be a little bit different. To be fair, I used to drive with the ball a lot. Step in. Yeah, right. That used to be like
every time.
Yeah, every time. Like at Bristol, I did it every time. And
so tell me just quickly, when you say that, so you stepped in here, but you also did it at Bristol.
Yeah.
Talking about level change.
Yeah, so it is obviously a massive change. Like,
so did you find it easy at Bristol doing it?
Yeah, I used to go past players, and then they'd be out of the game. Whereas I found when I first came here, like I'd maybe get past them, but then they'd be on my heels, like,
and they'd block angles in front of you.
And it wasn't as easy to get past them in the first place because they wouldn't be steaming in stupidly, But that was like a big part of my game, was like getting the ball and stepping in and taking the space. So I had to adapt a little bit because I had to pick the moments when I could actually do it.
I've seen the panic in his eyes a few times as he steps in. He actually gets past that first centre forward, and he's wanting an option from me, but I'm blocked off, and I can see as he's approaching midfield, all the angles are blocked off, and the panic in his eyes.
Maz is still offside at this point. Not helping.
Was he shouting at you? Get back.
Yeah,
get back.
he went.
I was like, what is he doing? Not again.
He did not want to know.
I was just started making like a long run back to my 18-yard box till I knew what was coming.
No, that is the worst. But no, it was good, and it was important that I did that, I think.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of change in the 6 years you've been here, and yet you've adapted to all of it, haven't you? Really, and you've. I mean, how would you describe the transitions? I know there've been quite a few of them from Graham Potter to Roberto De Zerbi now to Fabian Herzler. There's been some consistency through it, hasn't there? You've always been a passing team, but just tell us about how the emphasis has changed over the last 6 years.
Yeah, I think they're all quite different managers. I think obviously I remember when Graham left, we were at the stadium training, and then it all happened really quickly, and we were like a family, and it was like quite tight because he'd signed pretty much most of the players at that point in the squad, so it was we were all quite sad when he left.
And you've grown and adapted together, haven't you?
Yeah, and we'd come a long way together. And then obviously Roberto comes in, and no one had really heard of him as players, I don't think, because we're quite like, we just think about English football. We don't really look at people elsewhere, I think, and there was a lot of like uncertainty as well. And it was a completely different. I remember the first couple of weeks training was completely different to anything we'd ever done before, and how he wanted me and Dunkey to stand on the ball with the studs on the ball and wait until you're closer than me and you are now, and then pass it. And we couldn't get our heads around it to start with. It was strange, and then we started to see how it worked, and then everyone bought into it. And it was tough, to be fair, to start with Roberto, because I think we didn't win until the Chelsea game, which was like his 5th game maybe. And
you got a draw at Liverpool, didn't you? But he said that was Graham Potter's team, didn't he?
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Yeah, because I think we were still playing maybe a back 5 then, and but yeah, so we hadn't won, and like pressure was getting creeping up, and then we battered Chelsea. And then everyone like bought into it, and also during that, I think that was when the Queen died maybe, and there was like a couple of things that happened, and our games got cancelled. Yeah. So like we didn't actually have many games, and it was a long period. But that probably helped us because we could train more. And then and that was the World Cup year as well, wasn't it? So the World Cup was in November or whatever. And then I think after Christmas we were flying, and
he was very particular on distances, wasn't he, between everyone?
Yeah. Yeah, and it was mainly just focused in possession, and how he wanted everyone's like specifically positioned on the pitch. And if one person was out, it would throw off the whole thing. And we would train it for hours. Like it was really repetitive, and at times it was boring, and it was like, oh, we're doing this again, because it's like with players, you just want to have a little fight. Sometimes you want to have a little fiver and have a bit of fun. Whereas it was never like that with him, but you could see how good we were from it.
But on a Saturday when you cut through teams, it must have
exactly
been like,
I remember I think like speaking to Declan Rice, like when we battered at home, and he was like, literally we don't have a clue what we're doing, you lot are so good. And it was like, that's like the best thing you want to hear, isn't it, when you're like on the pitch. So that just goes to show, like, it was boring and stuff, but it worked, and it was great. And then obviously when Fabian came in, it was different again. Like, it was a lot more, training was different, a lot different, and intensity was massive, and you'd work just as hard in I know it's cliche, but you'd work just as hard in training as you did in a game, and the intensity was just through the roof. So it took a bit of adapting, because it was tough, like in that start of the pre-season. But no, everyone's bought into it, and you see, like last year we did really well, considering we had a lot of injuries and a lot of change at the club. So yeah, we're probably unfortunate not to be playing in Europe, really, from how well we did. But yeah, it's been very different, all three.
So that system where you, under De Zerbi, where everybody's got to be in exactly the right position. So every time you got the ball at the back, you knew where pretty much every other outfield player was going to be at that point.
And that did that depend on where you were pressed from by the opposition?
Yeah, so sometimes we'd build up in call it like a 2-3 or a 2-4. So it'd be let's just say me and Dunkey, and then there'd be either 1-6 or there'd be 2. So if it's 2-3, there'd be 1-6. If there's 2-4, there'd be 2 6s and the fullbacks. And then the wide players always stay wide pretty much, and then you'd have 2 10s and a striker. So it would be just we'd flirt between the two. But if say one of the 10s wasn't in the right position, then it would throw everything off. And we'd do a lot of the learning in meetings as well as on the pitch, where we do a lot of the learning like on a Friday night before a game, on an away game, or Saturday morning or whatever, and he'd highlight the importance of the number 10 being 5 yards further away or 5 yards closer, and the timing of when to come. If we're waiting on the ball that long, if you come too early, then it's not going to work.
Right.
So these are all the small details that literally take hours of like repetition.
Sounds quite stressful, actually, don't you think? You know, you're standing there thinking, I need to be on this blade of grass.
Well, I think for Adam and Dunkey, it was probably the most stressful, and I'll put Steely in that as well.
Yeah,
because you were the starting point, weren't you?
Yeah, and because
he would see his centre backs as almost like a quarterback role, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and because you're the one with like you say, with all the pressure, because you've got the ball. We had the ball a lot, and you know, if someone doesn't come and I lose the ball, it's me that looks stupid, but in actual fact, it's probably someone else's fault because they're not there, sort of thing. But we had to learn that, and it did take time.
It took a while for the fans to understand it as well, didn't it? Because they probably thought you were taking crazy risks, so they didn't understand that this was part of the plan. You know?
Yeah, and you see a lot of teams try and do it now, and playing with the third man and waiting for the pressure to come. And at first, it was like speaking a different language. It was like, what is this?
You know what? You see it in non-league football and everything now, and you think, Christ, this is brave.
Yeah, exactly, and that's just the way the game's gone, really.
So would you say during your time at the club, the European campaign is the standout?
Yeah, I think so. I think because I played quite a lot of games that year, and obviously we finished 6th in the league, so we were winning a lot of games, and we had a great squad, great lads. So that's probably the highlight. I enjoyed last year a lot as well. I didn't play as many games, but I feel like I played well when I played, and I'd say the European season was the best because of how many wins we had that year, and just like the whole group and everything was, because no one expected us to do that, and we'd literally we just, like I said, we used to batter teams and have a lot of fun with it as well.
There was a time, wasn't there, when people were talking about a possible England call-up for you. Do you remember that? And did you get a sense of how close you were?
There was a time, isn't it? There still is a time.
Well, you know what I mean, a particular time.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that time. Yeah. It feels like a while ago now.
Years ago.
Feels a long time ago now, to be fair. Yeah, it probably is, to be fair. It's probably, I think it was start of 2022. I was playing well. And I remember, and Dan Ashworth was here at the time, and I remember him speaking to me one morning because he knew Gareth, and he'd spoken to Gareth about me, and this was February time, I think. I think it might have been just after when I scored against Chelsea. And he said, like, obviously they were going to have a chat about me and stuff. And then I got a little injury just before the international break, I think a couple of weeks before, so then that sort of put a stop to that. If I don't know if it was ever going to happen, I'm not sure, but
no, it sounds like you were pretty close. And
I think I was 30, maybe knocking on the door. Yeah,
you're only 30. There's still time.
Yeah, you see Dan now, like he's flying, and he's a couple of years older than me, so he was probably 32 when he first played for England. So definitely time. But yeah.
And at the moment, obviously, out injured for a period. What are you filling your time with? I know you're a big foodie, Webby.
Yeah, I am. But I've not really been in the kitchen much lately, Muzz.
Why?
Well, because I've been on crutches and stuff. It's just it's not been the right thing to do.
Honestly, the stuff that Webby serves up is like, yeah, I've heard about it.
I do like my food.
You've got a reputation for this.
I did have some lessons a couple of years ago. Around that period, actually, I had some lessons, and it was probably one of the best things I did.
Right.
But no,
couldn't tell when we were in Japan. You were trying to make that sushi.
Hey, that's tough. That was not easy, mate.
We had a course out in Japan, and we had to try and do it. It was it was tough,
difficult, wasn't it?
And it was. Do you know what we did it? Was it around your schedule? It probably was around your schedule.
It was like 10:30 in the morning, wasn't it?
Well, I think it was early, wasn't it?
Yeah, 10 o'clock, something like that.
But what it equated to really early, didn't it? And we were slamming like raw sushi.
Yeah, raw sushi. It was nice, to be fair, but it was a bit early for that.
What's your signature dish at home, and what's your...
Something like nice and like traditional, I think.
No.
Probably quite fattening.
Yeah, a bit of fat in there. I love pasta. I love carbonara, so I love cooking like a normal, like an authentic carbonara.
Yeah.
But yeah, different pastas. I like cooking steak. Yeah, quite a few things really. But in answer to the question, I'm just started learning Spanish.
Okay.
Me and Wells have just started.
How are you getting on?
Yeah, we've only had one lesson so far. We're going to start doing it a couple of times a week, so that'll be hopefully.
Do you know what's good about that? Is that in the dressing room there'll be lads that speak Spanish, so you can try it. Or is there not many left?
No, it's just Diego. We got Esteban, who's Spanish physio. Florian speaks Spanish, so there's a few, but not as many like a couple of years ago. Yeah. Like you had Moises, Alexis, Julio, like a lot. But I think it'd be good to be fair, Millie speaks Spanish, so he's been giving us a few pointers on that.
It's tough.
I did
try feminine and masculine in Spanish.
Yeah,
how far did you get with your Spanish?
Not that far.
No, it's not. It's not easy.
Can you order a beer?
No, well, in English. They understand. No, it's not good at all. But I did try, but it's just. Yeah, it's just. But if you have got people you can speak it to, that helps,
it definitely helps. 100%. Yeah.
You want to be careful. The transfer rumour mill will start up now. He's learning Spanish. Where's he going? Yeah.
Madrid on a free.
Yeah.
So, what do you make of the? What are your hopes for this season? I mean, I know you're on the sidelines at the moment, but how do you think the team started, and how do you see it?
Yeah, I think obviously the first couple of away games haven't gone to plan really for us. I think we're a bit disappointed. Obviously, the Fulham game, to concede that late was a kick in the nuts. But no, I think we've got a great group here. We've got some great talent, great ability, and a great group of boys. We've got obviously a lot of new lads as well. So it's about trying to get them settled in as quickly as possible, because it's obviously new environment, new league for a lot of them, and that takes time. You know, I think last year you could see it as well. We had a lot of new players last year and new to the division, and it can take time. So it's just about trying to kick on from last year and seeing if we can improve on that.
Just talking about this year, Webby, and kind of where you are, obviously out injured. I snapped my ACL when I was a similar age to you, and it gives you a different perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And I think in the long run it'll give you an appreciation for where you are, because it's probably one of the first times you've been out for a long time where you're really on the outside, and you're more at an age where you realise you're deeper into your career, kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So I feel as though it can be seen as a positive, because it's a reset as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think, like say, obviously it's never nice to see anyone do their ACL and whatever, but I feel like you have a bit more, not more respect, but you understand what people have gone through in the past, like when Jakob done it and stuff, and how hard that would have been for him, because it isn't fun, like every day trying to do all the exercises.
It's lonely, isn't it? I think that's what it is. When you're used to be a team-based sport, you're very isolated, aren't you?
Yeah, lonely, and it's just like it can be painful. It's not enjoyable. There's a lot of discomfort and stuff around it. So, you do definitely appreciate what people have, and it is a lot more common now. So a lot more players have gone through it. But like I remember speaking to you about it, like you say, feels like it gave you a little bit more on the back end of your career because you had a little break, and hopefully that can be the same for me. But yeah, it is obviously it's going to be a long process, but it's just another challenge really. That's the way I'm looking at it. I think you got to try and remain as positive as possible, because being down in the dumps ain't going to help mentally anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you said it can be lonely, Glenn. I mean, both of you have had this injury. So is it best for football clubs to keep injured players right in the group, get them in every day, keep them around the dressing room? Because that's a hard balance to strike, isn't it, for a manager?
Yeah.
I think it depends on individually. I never went in the first team dressing room the whole time I was injured, because I didn't feel personally like I belonged there. Because I was no good to anyone. I'd have just got in the way. So it's just like I just do, and I didn't want to put myself through watching the lads get ready for something that I couldn't do at that moment in time.
Yeah, that's hard.
But then I think it's good because the medical room is pretty much the hub of the football club, isn't it? In the morning, so like in the morning you're in, and like everyone's in, and you're having a bit of banter, and like it feels like it feels good. But then all of a sudden, like a moment,
they go out
and
to
they've gone,
and then
it's deadly silent. You're like, So we used to. I mean, it sounds stupid. We used to have like trips out, so we'd like go down the local gym and stuff. When I did mine, just for a change of scenery, like I don't know, get a coffee somewhere else to bounce off other people. So there was more of an environment rather than just stay in the football gym all the time, or like, I mean, I know now like lads go to Qatar or Dubai and on camps. So I think, as well as still being involved, which is super important, I think you need to remove yourself at times as well.
I think there's a balance. I think I like coming in because I like routine and I like doing that. But like Muzza says, like being around the boys, it can be difficult because they're going out to train or they're going into a meeting to prepare for the game, and you're just a bit like, oh, I can't do that for a while. So it is tough. But the manager's been big on that. To be fair, he wants me like around it still on match days, and I've not been to a game yet, but hopefully when like I'm moving around a bit better, I can go and support the boys and feel a part of it.
Because it's very much like an insular view, because all the lads will treat you exactly how they did treat you. It's just that you see them differently kind of thing, because they can do something and you can't help them. You're no longer part of that.
I think it's a lot of it's in your own mind. Like you say, like you didn't feel like you belonged there in the changing room, which is nonsense really, isn't it? Because
total nonsense.
You just got an injury. Of course you belong there, and no one else would think you don't belong there just because you got an injury. It's just your brain playing.
But it also gave me something to work back to as well. In my mind kind of thing. Like I looked forward to that day I stepped back in. You could go back in
there, No, definitely. I think there's definitely a balance. But I like being in the routine. I like to feel like I come in and feel like I'm actually, doing something and trying to progress as well. So
yeah. And you're already in what people call a leadership group, aren't you? So So does this give you a chance to take a step back and say, well, how do I see the game and
He's the chairman of the leadership group now.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, that's true. To take a step back and say, well, what do I want in this game in a longer term? Do I want to coach one day? Do I want to manage one day? Have you had those thoughts? Yeah,
I think so. I think right now it's still a bit fresh, so I don't really know. I think, I don't know if I want to coach one day. I think it's a lot of, I don't know, I'm just not sure about it. I love football and I love like trying to help younger players and stuff. I just don't know if coaching is the right one for me. But no, I still want to obviously be a part of that leadership group and contribute where I can. The gaffer holds meetings every week or every couple of weeks to go through some stuff, and and I find that quite enjoyable to discuss some things that maybe we wouldn't think about as much, but when a manager thinks about everything, it's quite refreshing to be a part of that.
Everybody loves a great centre-back partnership, or I do anyway.
I hated them.
I'm sure you do, yeah. Why am I looking at you? And yours, particularly with Lewis Dunk, has been, one of the ones that people will always remember at this club. Can you just tell us how that developed and how comfortable you are together and the rapport you obviously got?
Yeah, I think when I first came in, I remember Dunky actually being a bit like, because I've always watched Dunky, and I'd say I looked up to him a bit as well, because I was actually playing like League 2 when I'd watch him, like when Brighton were in the playoffs and stuff, and I remember thinking, he's a player, and then I think when I met him, I thought, I think sometimes you have like a perception of someone of how they play, don't you, and like you think, he might be a bit of a Jack the Lad, or like I don't know, like when I first came out, I think I was a bit like, he don't really say much, like he's a bit quiet, but I think that was probably just because I just signed and stuff, but we seemed to
because
gel.
you were centre back,
yeah,
you've chatted to everyone else,
and you were 20 million quid.
But no, I think like as soon as we started playing with each other, it clicked straight away, and I think Buzz comes in the treatment room, we've done a quiz before. He loves a quiz, obviously, and comes in the treatment room and goes through some stuff. I'm pretty sure we've played like the most games together. I think I want to say, I don't know if it's more than Duffs and Dunky, but it's up there with Duffs and Dunky, like nearly maybe 100
What in the
games.
Premier League game?
No, like to get like as a partnership, like on the pitch together, like I'm sure it's over 100 games. And that's a lot of games, obviously, to play with someone. So no, yeah, it gelled, and obviously we're really close off the pitch as well. So that obviously helps. But yeah, it's been pretty easy to settle in with him.
Yeah, that's got to help when you're playing alongside someone like that, and you can form a proper understanding with someone. And you're slightly different players, aren't you? Just
definitely, yeah. It's a balance, isn't it? We got different attributes, but yeah, I think, and also, it sounds silly, but when I first signed,
you don't know is when you first signed, him and Duff made a pact not to speak to you.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Duffers did speak to me, to be fair. Yeah. But no, I think actually it was the second international break. We actually went to Oktoberfest after we played Tottenham, and we beat Tottenham at home, and Azza scored 2.
Okay, yeah.
And we went to Oktoberfest after that, and there was only I think it was seven or 8 of us, and that helps, like little bonding session, and that was quite good for me, because like I got invited to go, and I'd only been there like maybe 6 weeks or whatever, and that was quite important to me, and I thought, this will be good, and it was really good, and it was, and we still talk about it now.
Right, quick fire questions, Webby. Who was your football hero growing up?
Probably Steven Gerrard.
I thought you were going to say Donkey for a second. Favourite meal before a match?
What, as in before the game or the night before?
Yeah, it's a good point. So favourite meal before a match, I'll say at home, your last meal at home, so like on a Friday night.
Okay.
On a home game. Not that rubbish they serve you in the hotels.
No, yeah. I'll normally have like a big old plate of like
carbonara.
Pasta. No, I won't have carbonara. Like a tomato pasta or like a pesto pasta, to be honest.
Who's the funniest teammate at Brighton?
Now.
Well, you can have a then and now if you want.
Funniest. Steely's funny. Like he comes out with some. He's quick-witted, isn't he, Steely?
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll probably get Steely or Dunky. I mean, Dunky has me in stitches, absolute stitches. So yeah, one of them two probably.
If you weren't a footballer, what would you be doing?
Oh, good question. I probably would have gone down the route of a personal trainer or something like that, or PE teacher or something like that.
What's your locker room must-have item?
Locker room must-have item. Ooh.
Game day.
I don't think I have any, to be honest.
Boots and shin pads.
Yeah, need them.
Don't have to look after them anymore, do you?
No, I don't.
That's all looked after
don't
for
have
you,
to carry
isn't
them
it?
into the game, no.